Sisters and brothers, welcome back to our fourth session on forming consciences for faithful citizenship. Part of this special 8-part renewed series as we prepare for the upcoming elections and the elections to come in our futures. This session, we're going to explore what we mean by conscience formation. And again, our resources is the Bishop's 2020 document, Forming Consciences for Faithful Citizenship. Let's begin with what conscience is not. Conscience isn't a feeling. So often we talk about my conscience is bothering me. It's something that comes after an action that makes me feel bad. It's not that. Nor is a feeling that we have about what we should do. Rather, in the Catholic tradition, conscience is something that we do before an act. It's how we prepare to take what we'd call a human action, something that in which we know, will, and do. So conscience formation in its simplest form reflects natural law. The first principle of natural law is easy. It says, do good, shun evil. The further down we go into natural law, it calls us to protect the innocent and not harm the innocent, to educate, to care for others. So the natural law, along with scripture and tradition, is one of the ways in which our conscience is formed. More precisely, the Catechism of the Catholic Church in paragraph 1778 says this: conscience is a judgment of a concrete act that a person is going to perform or is in the process of performing or has already performed. In other words, as you think about going into the polls, that's a conscious act that we're either making or about to make, or we've just made. Conscience is about our preparation for that act in the light of scripture, tradition, and natural law, doing good and avoiding evil. It's easy to talk about doing good and avoiding evil, except when we get to the issue of the contents of what that vote may concern, what that means in terms of the economics. I'll pick a simple thing from economics. When we talk about increasing the minimum wage, we have to discern and study and pray about what does it mean to increase? Who will it hurt? Who will it help? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it better or is it worse? So conscience helps us to prepare. It's a process. So we're called to follow our consciences, you and I, each of us, what the church calls the primacy of conscience. It means that conscience is important for each of us. However, this assumes serious and intentional conscience formation, beginning with the openness to conversion. Remember when I said last episode, Thomas Aquinas' statement, whatever is received in the mode of the receiver. Conversion assumes that we might be ready to learn, that we might be called to change. And as you look through the history of moral development in the Christian faith and in the world, you'll see time and time again that people changed. It was through the process of conscience formation that they came to a change. This formation starts with a desire to embrace goodness and truth, love and mercy. If we thought about it in a prayer that said, Lord, as I prepare to vote on these particular issues, might I do so in truth and goodness? Might I do so with love and mercy that reflects your will for our lives and our country and our world? We move from that sort of openness then to the study of Scripture and tradition. What does Scripture and tradition tell us? So often there's so many places we can go. When the apostles were talking with Jesus about why he came, one of the things Jesus said was, I came that you might have life to abundance. In other places he said, I've come that your joy might be complete. We turn to Scripture. But then the church doesn't call us just to act on scriptural text, but also to go to science, to go to economics, to go to the experts and explore what the truth of each situation is based on our modern and best research and studies. Then, with those facts and background and context, to go back to prayer and reflection to discern God's will. So taking church teaching, taking the issue, taking the modern science, whether it's medicine, economics, sociology, back to the table, and then coming to pray and saying, Lord, guide me in the decision. It's important to note for us, though, while we're called to form our consciences, There are times when we might have an erroneous conscience. An erroneous conscience means it's incomplete, or it might be that I've got an obstinate will not to listen. My mind isn't and my heart aren't open to receive. A conscience based on incomplete data. I haven't done enough research. I haven't even taken the time to discern. The obstinate refusal because I believe what I believe is true, regardless of what anybody else, including the church, says. Choosing not even to spend the time to form one's conscience. All of those things can lead us to rely on an incomplete and erroneous conscience. When we vote, we're called to bring our formed and informed, formed by Scripture and tradition, informed by our knowledge and our research and our study and reflection to the political process. When we speak of conscience formation, though, sisters and brothers, one election isn't enough. The call of Christ in each of our lives is a lifetime of conscience formation. It's a lifetime of conversion. It's often said in the lives of the saints that there wasn't one singular moment when they were converted to the life of holiness that we see at the end of their life, but their whole life was a pattern of constant conversion, discernment, and openness, and change. Sisters and brothers, the church is calling us to those things, to discernment, to openness, to change, in order that we might do what? Reflect Christ's love and mercy, goodness and truth, in the manner in which we participate in the political process. And in doing that, not only we, but our nation and our world may be renewed.
Please like, subscribe, and comment below. God bless you.